Hi guys, welcome to the Golden Cruiser. I'm Cindy, and today I'm going to be talking to the new cruisers out there about features of a cruise ship. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about some features of a cruise ship. This is a good video for new travelers or maybe some that have cruised a couple times and just want some more information. Lately, I've seen a lot of comments on Facebook from new travelers saying they're overwhelmed with everything they're hearing, such as they need to buy this, they need to get this, they need to take all these items. So I'm going to go over some simple items of the cruise ship to make it easier for them. But if you've sailed before, you're welcome to listen along. Maybe you'll find something that you didn't know. So grab a drink, maybe a snack, sit back and relax, and let's talk about cruising. Number one is your cabin, which is your room, but it's called a cabin on a cruise ship. Your cabin is your home at sea. So let's talk about these types of cabins. Interior cabin. Now these are the most budget-friendly cabin with no windows, no balconies, just your four walls. You have a comfortable bed, you have storage areas, you have your single bathroom in there. Some people really love these because it's pitch black in there at night because there's no window or light coming in, and they say it helps them to sleep a lot better. And these are more budget friendly. If you're new to cruising and just want to try a cruise, when I first started cruising, we always did an interior cabin because we felt we weren't in the cabin that often, only in there at night to sleep. So that is the first type of cabin, the interior cabin. The next grade up, you would have a window cabin. Now this would give you a window so that you could look out at the ocean. You know what the weather is outside when you get up and you can look out. You can tell when it's going to be, morning or nighttime by it being daylight or night in your room. And it just gives you more of a view out there. And that would be the next step up from the interior cabin, the window cabin. Then we have the balcony cabins. Now this is where most cruisers love to splurge. For certain sailings like Alaska or the Mediterranean, balcony cabin can be an unforgettable experience. You're getting gorgeous views out there, and to be able to sit on your balcony and watch this going by as you're cruising Alaska or something, it's just a wonderful experience. The first time I ever had a balcony cabin, we got upgraded to a balcony cabin for free through a travel agent on a cruise ship many years ago on a Princess Cruise. Since then, it's really hard to go back once you get a balcony cabin, but I do sometimes still get a window cabin. I like to be able to see out the window to see where we are and everything. But a balcony cabin, you can watch the sunsets from your deck on your cabin. You'll have a little balcony there, normally with two chairs and a small table, so you could sit out there and eat your morning breakfast, have coffee, and go out there for sunsets, and it's just a wonderful experience. And then you have the suites. Now these can be very glamorous suites depending on which type you choose and which cruise ship you're on. You'll have multiple rooms, multiple bedrooms, expansive balconies. Some are even 2 stories. So they're just wonderful things. Now they do come with a high price. Some can be very spendy, but perks usually come with these suites, depending on what type of suite you book. Sometimes you will have a private butler, you have priority boarding, you have access to private areas that other passengers don't, like restaurants and sun decks and lounges. So no matter what type of room you pick, you will have the basics like a bed, ample storage, a desk, a mini fridge, and a bathroom. So what type you choose is all up to you and your budget and what you'd like to have on that ship. The next thing we're going to talk about is food. Now there are lots of food on a cruise ship. You'll never go hungry. So let's talk about the main dining room. Now the main dining rooms are usually open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A lot of people just go there for dinner, and that's fine. You can choose whatever you want to do on a ship. You will get at dinner a multi-course meal with a menu that changes nightly. So you will have your appetizers, your main courses, and your desserts, and you can choose from what's on the menu. And on most ships, you can have multiple of these items. If you want 2 appetizers, you can have that. If you want 2 main courses, you can have that. Except on certain nights when they serve lobster, sometimes they do require, if you want a second helping of lobster, that you pay for it. But that's about the only thing they charge for. And you can have as many desserts as you want also. Now, there's different types of dining in the main dining room. You can choose the time you want to dine every night, from starting at 5 o'clock up to 8 o'clock. So like 5, 6 o'clock, 7 or 8, or some ships it's 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. And you can choose your time and have that set every night of your cruise. You just go and go into your dining room. You will have the same table every night, and you will have the same waiters every night. This is the choice that we like to do because I love having the same waiters. They get to know you. They know your drink orders. They have them ready for you when you get there. And it's just a wonderful experience having the same, pleasant, happy waiters every night to wait on you. But you can do other ways of dining if you don't want set dining time. You don't know what time you're going to be there. They do have anytime dining now on most ships, where you can either pick different times to eat each night, or you can just go there and show up. Now, a lot of times if you just go and show up, you'll probably be in a wait line, or a lot of the ship's apps have where you're ready to go down to eat. You just put it in your app that you want to come eat, and then they send you a notice your table's ready, and then you just go down. So there are different ways that you can go to the dining room. Usually when the dining room's open at breakfast and lunch, you just walk into the dining room. You don't have to have a set time or anything. We like to choose the early time dining for us because we like to go to the shows later, which are usually at about 7 or 7:30. So it all depends on you, what time you're used to eating, when you want to eat, and what type that you want, whether you want the pick your time dining or just go when you're ready. Other places to eat on the ships. Now, most places have food places around the pool deck, like they might have a pizza place. They might have a place on the pool deck that serves things like hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries. You might have a place with tacos and burritos. There's usually a couple places at least by the pool deck. Throughout the ships, you'll find small cafes and sandwich shops. Some sandwich shops available 24 hours a day. There's always food up there. Those usually have like little sandwiches, desserts. Some have salads, fruits. And then you have the buffet. Now the buffet is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you can just walk into the buffet. You don't make any reservations or anything. And this is many cruisers' favorites. They like to go in there. Most people go on there the day they're boarding the ship. I say don't do that because it's going to be so crowded. It's also very crowded for breakfast on port days because people are trying to get off the ship to go to their excursions. So they go into the buffet to eat quickly and get off the ship. So a lot of times the buffets are very crowded. But you'll find a variety of foods in the buffet from around the world. You'll have your salad bars. You'll have just all kinds of food. Main dining room food, like they'll have carving stations. They'll have some stations where they'll make you pasta on the spot or omelets or things like that. You'll have a variety of foods and desserts there also. If you're going to the buffet and you're new, there's hand washing stations right outside the buffet. Please make sure and wash your hands. It's very important. This is where people can get contaminated very easily by using the same serving utensils going along the buffet. And if one person's sick, it can spread like wildfire on a cruise ship. So very important to wash your hands before and after you go into the buffet. Even if you just wash them in your cabin, wash them again, because on the way you've probably touched the elevator buttons, handrails, looked at things in gift shops. And just to keep yourself and other passengers healthy, wash your hands. It's very important on a cruise throughout the cruise time to keep washing your hands. So that's the food on the ship that comes with your price you pay. That's not extra for any of those I just talked about. Now, there is specialty dining. Now, specialty dining, you can splurge a little and pay extra on these if you want to. Now, I myself, I don't really find it necessary to pay extra for food because there's so much food on the ship, and in the main dining room, you will get good food. You will get things like steaks, lobster on certain nights, any kind of fishes, pastas, a variety of very well-made food. So I don't find it necessary myself. I'd rather save that money for something else, maybe an excursion or something. But it's up to you if you want to have specialty dining. Normally, these are places like steakhouses, sushi bars, and Italian cuisine. Now I did purchase, you can purchase lunch or dinner in a lot of these, and it's cheaper to pay for a lunch, which is basically the same thing you're going to get at dinner time. We paid for an Italian at Jamie's Cuisine, Jamie's Italian on our last ship for lunch. It was like $14.99 a person. And we had, all the appetizers we wanted, main courses and desserts, and it was very good. Now on our next cruise, Princess Cruise does include, if you buy their drink package there, it includes specialty dining. If you get the premier package, you can get one of every specialty dining included. If you get the plus package, you get 2 casual dinings, which is like an Italian restaurant and sushi and some of their pubs. So that is something that is included with Princess Cruises package. So if you're going to go on a Princess Cruise, look at what their drink package offers. It offers more than the other cruise lines. It's more than just your drinks. And then they have the chef's table. Now, this is a highly exclusive fee event with limited seating. You'll receive a multi-course tasting menu with wine pairings, often served in a private setting where you interact with the chef and you sit with other guests. So this might be a table of like 12 people in a special area in the dining room. Usually they'll have a curtain around them or something. And then you're getting these tasting menus that the chef has prepared specially for this. This is something that you do have to pay for and reserve ahead of time before you get on the ship. Okay, so let's talk about entertainment features. There is plenty of entertainment on a cruise ship. You will never get bored. They have so much entertainment going on. The main theaters. They have massive multi-level venues with full-scale Broadway musicals, ice skating shows, acrobatics shows, so much variety going on depending on what cruise line you're on and what ship you're on depends on what you're going to see. But I have never seen bad entertainment in any of the cruises I've been on. I absolutely love going to the main theater. I do it every time we get on a ship. That is just my favorite thing to go there. Now, there are other venues throughout the ship with shows going on depending on the ships. You'll have a comedy club usually with comedy, usually twice a day. They'll have an early family one, and then they'll have a later one that's like at 10 for adults only. Be warned on if you go to adults only and you get easily offended, then don't go there. If you've ever seen Comedians. And then they'll have other venues around, like on our last Royal Caribbean, we had the main theater where the shows were. And then you had like where Spectre's Cabaret would be in the Cafe 270 and different shows that went on there every night and parties that went on. Certain ships will have like white parties where you all wear white, or they'll have an 80s themed party that you can dress up or not. and a 70s party, a disco party. There's just like endless theme parties. Depending on which cruise ship you're on, you can normally find out before you go what type of party is going to be happening on the ship. Some other entertainment is casinos. Now, there's a full-scale casino on every ship, except for Disney, I think. I don't think they have a casino. I haven't been on a Disney cruise, but I don't believe they have a casinos. So they have everything a land casino would have, slot machines, every type of table game you could want. Now, the casino on a cruise ship is only open when it's out to sea. They cannot be open when they're in any ports or docked. So they have to wait till they get out to sea, and then the casino will open and you can play in there. Usually most casinos have a bar in there. You can smoke in a casino. They do have a smoking section and a non-smoking section. Some cruise ships have a separate non-smoking casino and a separate smoking one, but most have half the room smoking, half non-smoking. Other venues on the ship are bars and lounges. Now, the ships are filled with dozens of bars and lounges, each with a different vibe. Like you might have a lively nightclub with a DJ, or you might have a martini bar or a pub with someone playing in there at night, or a piano bar. There's just endless bars on the ships and lounges, places to go for entertainment. Live music. Live music is played all around the cruise ship. You can have that in the atrium or the piazza. That's the center of the ship, whichever ship you're on. They call them different names, but usually there's like a music duo. Maybe you'll have violins playing there, or, a guitar player and someone singing there. Then you'll have different lounges open at night with either a band playing or different types of music. You might have Latin music. There's Cuban bars on certain ships with Cuban music playing. There's music club venues with rock music playing. So it just depends on the ship you're on. But there's entertainment at night all over the ship, different venues. So you can just choose what is the best for you and go see some of these live musicians play. Now, there is a lot of activities on the ship to do, but there's also relaxation. So let's talk about relaxation and recreation. The pools. Most ships have multiple pools. The main pool is usually where the most people are, and there's usually live music or a DJ playing there. A lot of the main pool areas will have their sail away parties there when you're leaving the port to go out to sea. And most people just hang out there. It can be noisy at times depending on what type of year you're on the ship. If you're on a ship with a lot of kids, they'll be in the main pool areas because that's where kids' pools are also. But if you want a quieter area, most ships have adult-only pools, 18 and over. You can head to the adult-only pools or head to the back of the ship. Now, usually on cruise ships, not all of them, but most of them will have a second pool, usually at the very back, which is called the aft on a cruise ship if you're not familiar. They'll have another pool area there, and not a lot of people go there. It's much quieter. You won't have the kids there because the kiddie pools aren't there. They're in the main pool area, and it's just a quieter place to relax. So it depends on what type of vibe you want. If you want that livelier vibe with music, then go to the main pool. If you want to be away from kids completely, go to the adult pool section. Some have beautiful solariums that are covered in glass. They're inside, depending on your cruise line. Or go to the back where it's quieter there. Another thing for relaxation is the spa on the ship. You can get multiple types of spa treatments on board. Now, of course, these are going to cost you extra depending on what you want to have done. You can have massages, you can have facials, you can have your hair done, nails done. You can go into a thermal spa where they have saunas and whirlpools and heated chairs, and it's just any treatment that you want you could have done in a spa. You need to book these ahead of time before you go there. Usually when you get on the ship, they will run specials, especially on port days. They will have a lot of specials on their items. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. You will have that in your daily planner telling you when they have their specials. The daily planner is something you get every day that shows what is going on the cruise ship. And that will either be a paper delivered to your room daily, or it will be on your cruise app telling you what's happening at every time of the day all over the ship. Fitness centers, they have full gyms on cruise ships with every kind of equipment that you would have in your big gyms back home. They are all really stocked with all the equipment you would need, weights, and then you have just everything. Everything is in there. These are free. You can go in there and work out whenever they're opened, whatever time you want at no cost. Now, it would be extra if you wanted to get a personal trainer, or some of the classes they have, they charge extra for, like they'll have yoga classes and things. But there is a full gym on board if that's something you're interested in. Sports courts. Every cruise ship has some type of sports courts, usually with basketball, pickleball, tennis, and other activities like mini golf or putting greens. It just depends on the cruise ship. Royal Caribbean that we were on a few months ago, their sports court was huge and it would constantly change into something different. It was an indoor sports court. So they had the basketball. They would play volleyball in there and tennis. Then they would change it for roller skating. They had it set up for bumper cars to go in there. It was just endless activities happening there. So depending on the cruise ship, there will be some type of sports court. Activities. Now this again depends on the cruise ship also. Water slides. A lot of the cruise ships have huge, humongous water slides. It looks like a water park up there. Some of them have roller coaster water slides or roller coasters. Big water type areas with fountains for the little kids to run through. Surf simulators. A lot of ships have the surf simulators where you can boogie board or surf right off the back of the ship. Skydiving simulators. Some ships have the big tubes where it feels like you're skydiving. My son and granddaughter did this on our last cruise. I put a little clip here of, I don't know, one of them. It'll either be my son or my granddaughter. But they kind of hold you up and you're in the air. They don't really let you go and you fly up there. Now they do that. They'll do a show and they'll flip around in there and stuff. But if you're doing it, they will hold on to you at all times. So, but they loved it. They just said it was the funnest thing. There was no fee for this because they did it on a port day. If you were out to sea, they charged for this, but during port times, you could do it for free. You just had to book your reservation to go and do that. The same with the surfing. You had to book a reservation for that, and it was free on port days, and you had to pay when it was out to sea. Rock climbing walls. A lot of the ships have big rock climbing walls, zip lines, all kinds of things going on, depending on the ship you're on. Some have more features like that than others, so there's a lot of things. Family features. Now, a lot of cruise ships have spaces for every age. Every ship has a kids club and teen clubs by age groups. Ships usually have things like arcades for the kids, mini golf, and things for the whole family to do. Lots of activities. This again will depend on which type of ship you choose. If you choose like a Princess Cruise or Holland America or Celebrity, you're not going to have as many kid-friendly activities or a lot of the big, water slides, roller coasters and things. You won't find that on a Princess Cruise or Holland America. You'll find that more on a Royal Caribbean, Carnival ship. They will have a lot of those things like that. So you'll just have to look around at all the different cruise lines. Take a look at what the ship has. You can look at the deck plans and you can see what they have to fit your family and your needs of what you want. Gift shops. There's gift shops all over the cruise ships. You can find anything you want on there for a price. And things on a cruise ship are going to be spendy. So make sure and not forget items like sunscreen or lip balms or any of your makeups or anything. If you forget any of that, you will pay a hefty price for it on a cruise ship. But they do have those stores in case you forgot some items at home. They also have stores with designer bags in it, jewelry stores with expensive watches and all kinds of jewelry. They have shops that are duty free to buy alcohol and cigarettes, which means you don't pay taxes on them. Now, if you do buy alcohol in these stores while you're on your cruise, they won't let you take it back to your cabin. They will hold it to you to the last day of the cruise and give it to you to leave the ship with. So just take note of that. If you're buying alcohol on the ship, you won't get it until you depart. But there's many different shops on the cruise ships to shop in. Now, every ship has a medical center. Medical centers are usually way down, like on deck 2 or 3, but they don't have like full service like a hospital, but they can help you with minor issues, but it will cost a price and it's pretty expensive to use the medical center. That's why I like to tell everyone to get travel insurance. It's very important. I usually buy mine through the cruise ship. But even if you need something very small, it's going to cost you a lot. And if you get something major where they have to fly you off the ship, you're talking like $10,000. So it's worth it to get the insurance. Right now on my next cruise, and I'm 69, it goes by your age, it's costing me $9 a day to have the medical insurance that I would be covered, and be covered if I had to be flown off the ship or anything. And for my granddaughter who's 15, it's costing $2 a day. So it's really worth it to take out the travel insurance, whether you do it through the cruise line or a third-party venue. It's really good to have that. It also covers things like lost luggage and other things. Laundromats. Now, most ships have their own self-service laundromats where you can go do your laundry, or you can just go iron your clothes. Because on a cruise ship, you are not allowed to bring an iron or even a clothes steamer on board. So if you need something like that, you can get some Downy wrinkle spray to bring along to spray on your clothes, or just hang your clothes up and run the hot shower and the steam should take that out, or go into the laundromats and you can iron your clothes there or pay for laundry service, or you can have them pick up your dirty clothes for a fee and the cruise ship laundromat will do the laundry for you and bring it back all folded, but you do pay for that also. You do pay for the self-serve laundromats to use the washer and dryer, but not the iron, so you can use those. Apps and Wi-Fi. Most ships have an app nowadays that will have the daily schedule activities on there of everything going on in the ship. It will tell you what time certain restaurants are open or food places. Other ships, like I talked about, will also give you a paper daily planner. That's what we used to have. Back in my day, just the paper planner. There was no app. Some still give you that. Some will give you that if you ask for it. Otherwise, it's going to be on your phones, on your app of the cruise ship, and that will have everything on there that you need to know about the ship. It will have the deck plans of the ship. It'll show you where things are on the ship, and make your dining reservations there and everything. So there's a little bit about a cruise ship. There's a lot to a cruise ship. There's a lot more than I went over, but these were some of the basics. Cruising is a wonderful vacation, I think. You just get on the cruise, we unpack, and we're there for a week, and you've got everything included. Your food, your entertainment, you're going to ports you've never seen before. Whether you want to purchase extras like excursions, that's up to you. You don't have to. You can get off the ship and explore on your own. It's all up to you and your budget, how far you want to go with the cruise, or you can go minimal and, be able to afford it and just have a wonderful time also. It doesn't really matter if you pay for any extras on the ship. You'll still have a wonderful time. So if there's anything I forgot that other people have thought of, I know there's a lot of other little things here and there, but that's the basics of a cruise ship. Just depends on what you need. So just go out there, go onto the websites and look at the various cruise lines like Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Princess, Holland America, Celebrity. Take a look at those, look at the prices. You'll see a great price difference in some of the cruise ships depending on where you want to go. And then look and see what that cruise ship has and if that's something that you want. Because you wouldn't want to be on a cruise ship that you think is going to be full of fun and you're on there with just, older people like me and it's kind of more quiet and subdued. So make sure you take a look at these ships before you book your first cruise. So I want to thank you for stopping by today. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to my channel. Bye for now, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.